Welcome to Chapter 6 of Panto Dame Private Eye. Feel free to share with friends, or like or comment. That'd be super, just so we know how you're enjoying the story. But here goes Chapter 6. Chris Faust had never been so uncomfortable in his life. For a start, he was tied hand and foot to his twin sister. Also, water was dripping down the back of his neck from somewhere colder and slimier than the bottom of the average fridge. And, finally, his nose was pressed firmly and securely against Harry Georgeson's bottom, and Chris could tell that Harry had eaten a lot of sprouts. He squirmed about a bit, but all this did was rub the ropes painfully against his wrists and ankles and scratch Harry's bottom for him. After fully 10 minutes of the grossest hanky ever, Chris was able to twist his head to the side enough to be able to look around him without breathing in recycled sprout. When he got out of here, he was gonna stuff air fresheners down someone's pants till he couldn't take any more. From what he could see, and that still wasn't much, the whole class were tied together in a gigantic net, hung high over a tiny light set on the floor of a cave. He could tell he was in a cave, because his classroom didn't have stalagmites. "What's going on?" came the voice of his sister. Good. That meant he wasn't the only one awake. "I don't know. We're in a cave, I think. Can you move your arms?" "Not without moving yours, too." "I can't feel my feet." "Think yourself lucky. I've been awake for 10 minutes and the pins and needles are no fun." "That's something for you to look forward to, sis." "Thanks." You always were the cheerful one. "The children are awake, Bez." A snotty, weaselly voice came from the ground. Neither Chris nor Freya could see exactly where from. "I thought you said they'd be asleep for hours yet." "I did, Gaz. I definitely gave them each enough of a dusting to sleep for the full 12 hours like it said on the tin. No point in them hanging around bothering us while they were awake. Look, it says so on this label. Human, 3 scoops, 12 hours, see?" The voice was just as weasel-like and practically dripped with unseen snot as you can imagine. In the semi-dark of the cave, both Chris and Freya drew pictures in their heads of their captors. None of them were very nice, and some of them would have set a lesser child to instant tears. The fact that these two had specified humans was no comfort to the twins at all. What else did they hunt? "Okay, so why are those two awake?" "I don't know. Let's let the boss know. He won't be pleased, but it'll be worse if we don't tell him. I tell you what, I'll watch the kids and you go and tell him." "I've got a better idea. You go and tell him and I'll watch the kids." "No, you tell him." "No, you tell him." "I tell you what, you tell him." To Chris and Freya's silent amazement, this carried on for what felt like half a day, but could only really have been 15 minutes. It was resolved with a dull thud, a slap, and the agreement that they would both go and tell him, whoever him was. The sound of fading footsteps followed swiftly after and left them in silence and a gathering dark. Of course, we know there is no such thing of dark. It's just that there's not enough light to see by. But that isn't a very comforting thought when you're tied up and gathered in a giant net with 28 unconscious classmates and your annoying twin. "What are we going to do?" "I don't know. Why are you asking me?" "It's just about better than asking Harry's bottom, I agree, but I'm a bit pushed for allies here." "Ah!" "What's up?" "Pins and needles." "Ah!" "It's not funny, it hurts, and laughing at me doesn't help one bit. When I get out of here, I'm going to stuff popping candy in your ears and shove your head in the fishbowl." "You did that last year. I can still hear the sea in my left ear." "Shut up, Chris. Shut up yourself. You're not exactly helping us escape." "And where?" came a new, deeper, scarier voice. "Where exactly do you think you would go to, my little elves?" That stopped the argument, dead in its tracks. Someone was here. Someone was scary. And someone knew exactly who they were.